Well, greetings, and welcome to the show. This is Wrong Place, Right Crime. I'm your host, Frank Zafiro, and this is a special State of the Podcast episode. This will be relatively short, folks. I just wanted to update you on where things were at and where they are going. I started this podcast way back in 2017, and it has gone through some different phases where I was doing a long show monthly. I was doing shorter shows weekly, medium to long shows bi-weekly. It's gone through a lot of iterations, but the mission throughout has always been the same: to promote other writers, primarily crime fiction authors. That's been the mission, and that's what we focused on. And in the course of doing that, I have had the opportunity to meet some really cool people, spend time with friends of mine, and talk about some awesome books. The downside to podcasting, as anyone who does it will tell you, is the time commitment. It takes a lot of time if you want to do it right. And where I'm at in my life right now, the reality is that I've had to take a pretty hard assessment on what I can spend time doing. And I've had to make some hard decisions on some things that I'm not doing anymore, or putting on hold for a while. And this podcast is one of those things. So getting straight to the point here, I am putting Wrong Place, Right Crime on hiatus. This is an undetermined period of time. Might be a few months, might be longer. Not ruling out that this might be permanent. I like to keep the option open of coming back around to the podcast if things change in terms of the kind of time that I have to put into making the show on a consistent basis and keeping up high standards. So don't unfollow, because you'll miss the notification if I come back and release a new show. Also, I'll be keeping all of the previous episodes available. So that's really the purpose of this whole episode, is to announce this. Wrong Place, Right Crime will be going on hiatus for an undetermined period of time, effective immediately. Now, one aspect of the show that I talked about in the opener is promoting other authors. I'll continue to post Throwback Thursdays when I'm able, and remind people that those back episodes are there. I don't get any money for that. The sponsorship for the show was direct sponsorship, and that no longer exists. Down Out Books stopped being the sponsor at a certain point, and essentially Code 4 Press became the sponsor. Code 4 Press is the imprint that I use to publish largely my own work. So I sponsored the show. I'll continue to sponsor the show by keeping the back catalog available, with the primary purpose of continuing to promote these other authors. You can help out by sharing those episodes, by supporting those authors that are on the show. If you want to contribute directly towards keeping the episodes online, there is a Buy Me a Coffee option on the website, wrongplacerightcrime.com. The cost of doing so is not exorbitant, so even a cup of coffee goes a long way towards covering it. All right. I want to say a big thank you to all of the authors to this point who've come on the show, and a few readers that went on, and a couple of super reader episodes, if you recall. Big thank you to all of them. My purpose in the show is to support them, but they supported the show by being here. And so thank you to each and every one of them. Big thank you, of course, to you, the listener, for catching any or all of those episodes. As I said, they'll still be available. The back catalog there you can explore if you haven't listened to the episode yet. But thank you for being there. I mentioned this being a big time commitment. It certainly is. One of the reasons I kept going as long as I have is knowing that there are folks out there who were waiting on the next episode and were excited when the new episode dropped, and that means a lot to me. It's much like very much in the same vein as that reader who's excited about the next book. It feeds the soul a little bit to know that the work that you're doing is appreciated. So thank you very much for that. To be clear, this is a hiatus, not a finale. I won't lay percentages or odds because that's for Vegas, but there's a reason why I'm not calling this the final episode. And when I started this back in 2017, there's no way I would have figured there'd be over 200 episodes. So again, thanks to the authors who've been on the show. Thanks to you, the listener. And I will see you further on up the road. Until then, this is Frank Zafiro reminding you that sometimes you got to be in the wrong place to write crime.